My name is Sarika and today in this video we are going to look at the concepts of averages, mixtures and alligations. Now as far as any competitive exam is concerned, whether you talk about CAT, CET, GMAT, even BankPO exams like IBPS PO or SBI PO or the Clerical, this is a very common topic and a lot of students find it a bit difficult. So let's understand the concepts of AMA so that you can solve the sums easily. So our first topic is averages. Okay? First topic is the first A, which is averages. Let's understand what do you mean by average. See, हम बचपन से पढ़ते आ रहे हैं. How do you calculate the average? Your average is the sum of observations upon total number of observations. ठीक है? It is sum of observations upon total number of observations. So let's say for example, I tell you, I asked a few students about their marks. So some students told me that one of them scored 10, then 8, 10, 12, 15, 18. Okay? I had 5 students. I asked them about their marks and these were the marks scored. If I ask you what are the average marks scored by all of them, so your average will be sum of observations, that is 8 plus 10 plus 12 plus 15 plus 18 upon total number of students, which is 5. Correct? This will be 18. 18 plus 12 is 30. 30 plus 15 is 45. 45 plus 18 is 63 divided by 5. Correct? So this will be 5 ones are 5. 13 bacha, 5 twos are 10. 30 bacha, 5 six are 30. So the average marks of all the students together is 12.6. So this is the basic concept of averages. Now let's talk about averages in a different way. The way is when the difference is constant. So for example, if I give you certain numbers and the difference between them is constant. In the first case, suppose if I have odd number of terms. Let's say the numbers are 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I have 5 terms and the property is the difference between them is constant. Okay? So they are said to be in AP or arithmetic progression. Even if you don't understand that, just remember that the difference is constant. Now I ask you, what is the average here? What is the average in this case? So in this case, you can directly mark your average as the middle term. Your average will always be the middle term, so that is 15. Or you can also calculate your average as first term plus last term upon 2. So that will be 5 plus 25 upon 2, which is 30 upon 2, which is 15. You can also calculate it as second term plus second last term upon 2. That is 10 plus 20 upon 2, which is again 15. So just remember, your average is the middle term. Suppose if I tell you, if all these numbers are doubled, agar sare numbers double kar diya, what is my new average? So my new average will be the double of this. So it will become 30. Rather, if I ask you that if all the numbers increase by 5, okay, all the numbers increase by 5, what is the new average? So your average will also increase by 5. Your initial average was 15, your new average will be 20. Whatever operation performs on all these numbers, by same method, by same increase or decrease, you will get the final average. मतलब अगर 15 को double, अगर सारे numbers को double किया, तो average भी double होगा. If I increase everything by 5, your average will increase by 5. If I decrease everything by 5, your average will decrease by 5. If I divide every term by 2, my average will also get divided by 2. Clear? This is about odd number of terms. What if I have even number of terms? Let's say I have 5, 10, 15, 20. I ask you, what is the average here? The average is always the middle term, but you don't have a middle term here. So you can calculate it as 10 plus 15 upon 2. So that is 25 upon 2, which is nothing but 12.5. So 12.5 is a number which comes exactly between 10 and 15. You can also calculate it as first term plus last term upon 2. So this is again 25 by 2, which is 12.5. And the similar case happens here. जैसे इधर double हो रहा था, your average got doubled. Same is the case here. If I double every term, your average 12.5 will also get doubled. So it will become 25. If I decrease everything by 5, your average will also decrease by 5. So that is the concept of averages, basic averages. Let's look at the next concept. The next concept is weighted average. Now what is weighted average? Let's see. Suppose if I tell you I had 50 students in the class. Okay? I had 50 students. I divided them into 20 students and 30 students. Okay? I divided them into two groups, 20 students and 30 students. For all these 20 students, I asked their height. Height kitna hai? Height for student 1, height for student 2, height for student 3, height for student 4. I asked all of them their heights. Then I calculated their average. Let's say their average came out, or average height came out to be h1. Okay? Average height came out to be h1. Then for the remaining 30 students, I again asked them their height. Then I calculated the average of these students also. Let's say their average height came out to be h2. I'm asking you, what is the average height of the entire class? Okay? What is the average height of the entire class? Now, generally what do students do? They calculate it as h1 plus h2 upon 2, which is absolutely wrong. You cannot do that because the number of students are not equal. ठीक है, अगर ये equal होता, then this might have been possible. But because your number of students is not equal, you cannot directly jump to this method. So what do? We will calculate the sum in each case. We know average is sum upon number of terms. So your sum is average into number of terms. So यहाँ पे the average was h1 and number of students were 20. Similarly, यहाँ पे the sum will be average is h2, number of students are 30. Now your resultant average will be your total sum. Total sum will be 20 h1 plus 30 h2 upon total number of students, which is 50. This is how you calculate the average of the entire class. So this average is called as the weighted average. Okay? So when you assign a particular quantity to your number of people, जैसे यहाँ पे we have assigned the height, that becomes a weighted average. So basically we are assigning a height, or basically this is the weight which is what we are assigning to the number of students. So this is called as the weighted average. So in general, so if I have n students, let's say I divided into n1 and n2, and the average height is, let's say, h1 h2. So your weighted average will be n1 h1 plus n2 h2 upon total number of students, which is n1 plus n2. So this is the concept of weighted average. We are assigning a weight to the number of students. So in this case, that is nothing but the height. So you can assign heights, weights, anything for that matter. This is weighted average. Now let's look at the next concept, which is M, which is nothing but mixtures. Now what is mixtures? See, mixtures is derived from averages only. It is a part of weighted average only, but the entities become different. What does that mean? Let's say, for example, it was my birthday and I had two students, Rahul and Priya, who gifted me something. Okay? Rahul does not like me that much. Okay? So he gifted me some normal quantity of rice which costed him P1 rupees. He gave me the sasta rice, the cheaper rice. So let's say he gave me Q1 quantity of rice which costed him P1 rupees. So this is the cheaper rice. ठीक है? Priya really likes me. I'm her favorite teacher. So she gifted me basmati rice. So she gifted me Q2 quantity of rice which costed her P2 rupees. ठीक है? Q2 quantity of rice which costed her P2 rupees. So this is the dearer rice. Dearer means महंगा वाला rice. Now what did I do? I got so much rice as my birthday gift. मैं करूँ क्या? What did I do? I mixed the two rice together. Now the question is, what is the average price of the mixture I have? ठीक है? Average price of the mixture. So average price of the mixture will be your total sum. Total sum in this case would be Q1 P1. ठीक है? Q1 P1 plus Q2 P2. Like it is the same as weighted average. Just instead of number of students and height, we have quantity and price. Upon the total quantity. वहाँ पे था number of students. Here you have the total quantity. So the total quantity will be Q1 plus Q2. This is the average price of the mixture P. ठीक है? So this is your concept of mixtures which is derived from averages. ठीक है? Now let's understand if this is mixtures, what is alligation? What is alligations? Now what do we do in alligation? We just rearrange this formula. We are not doing anything. We are just rearranging this formula. If I rearrange this in terms of Q1 upon Q2, I will get P2 minus P upon P minus P1. ठीक है? You can rearrange this and check. You will get Q1 upon Q2 is P2, that is the dearer price, minus average upon average minus cheaper. This is the ratio of cheaper quantity and dearer quantity. So how do we write this? We write this as, see, P1 is your cheaper price, ठीक है? P2 is your dearer price. Now can I say the average price of the mixture P will always be more than P1. सस्ते वाले राइस से ज़्यादा ही होगा, but it will be less than P2. महंगे वाले राइस से कम होगा. What do? We take a cross. We take a cross. So I subtract this. I write it as P2 minus P. And I write this as P minus P1. I take their ratio. But what is this ratio? P2 minus P, P minus P1. It's the same as this. P2 minus P, P minus P1. Which is equal to Q1 upon Q2. So this ratio of subtraction is the same as the ratio in which I am going to mix my two rice together. This is the quantity of cheaper to quantity of dearer. In this ratio, I am going to mix the two quantities which is derived from the price. So this method is called as the alligation method. So if you understand, alligation is derived from mixtures because we are using this formula, and mixtures is derived from alligations. Hence, mixtures is derived from averages. Hence your AMA, averages, mixtures, alligations come together. I hope this clears your concept. Now let's look at one final concept which I call as the wine concept. Okay, very interesting concept. Let's understand what does it say. Suppose if I tell you I had 100 liters of wine. Okay, I had 100 liters of wine. I removed 10 liters and I added 10 liters of water. Okay, so that means I replace 10 liters with water. Okay. Now I ask you, how much wine do you have and how much water do you have? So when I remove 10 liters, so that means I have 90 liters of wine and I have 10 liters of water because I am adding water. So basically I have a solution now. I have a mixture of wine and water. Okay? Now again I remove 10 liters and I add 10 liters of water. How much wine do I have now? Okay, understand, you have a mixture now. When you remove 10 liters, some part of wine will go, some part of water will go. Now the question is, how much wine will go and how much water will go? See, the ratio of wine and water will be 9:1. Correct? Now when I replace 10 liters with water, what happens is, how much wine will go? So it will be 9 upon total. So that is 9 by 10 of 10 liters wine will go, and 1 upon total. So that is 1 by 10 of 10 liters water will go. So this is nothing but 9 liters, this is nothing but 1 liter. So 90 liters wine tha, 9 liters chala gaya. So I have 81 liters of wine remaining. Similarly, I had 10 liters of water, 1 liter chala gaya. I have 9 liters. But I am adding 10 liters of water, so I will add 10 here. So basically I have 19 liters of water here, correct? And 81 liters of wine. But suppose if I tell you I do this procedure 3 more times, then how much is the wine remaining? So to do it manually, it is going to take a lot of time. So that is the reason we have a direct formula. Now the formula says the amount of wine remaining is given by the formula x into 1 minus y by x raised to n. This is the formula. X is your initial wine. Okay? X is your initial wine. Y is the amount replaced. And n is the number of times replaced. So if we solve this problem by this method, x is the initial wine. So initial wine was 100 liters. Okay? So your x is 100. 1 minus. Y is the amount replaced. Kitna amount replace kiya? 10 liters replace kiya. So that will be 10. X ka value is 100 upon how many times it is replaced. So see, understand. यहाँ पे एक बार replace किया, यहाँ पे एक बार replace किया. So 2 times. So what will happen? This will be 100 into 0, 0 will get cancelled. 10 ones are 10 minus 1 is 9 upon 10 the whole square. So when you simplify this, you will get 81 liters. This is the amount of wine remaining. Hence your answer here was 81 liters. So you can use the manual method or you can use this formula as well. Now I have a very interesting observation to make. If you have studied compound interest, for compound interest, if you have to calculate the amount, we have the formula as A is equal to P 1 plus R by 100 raised to N. This is your amount. If you observe, the two formulas are very similar. This is your X, which is initial wine. This is your principal, which is the initial money. This is the amount replaced. This is the rate of investment. This is number of times replaced. This is your number of years. So they are very similar. The only difference is, यहाँ पे you have a plus sign, here you have a minus sign. Why minus? Because every time we remove, the wine will decrease. Okay? The quantity of wine will reduce. But here your money keeps on adding, it keeps on compounding. That is the reason we add here and here we subtract. That's the only difference between the two formulas. So in this video we have seen the complete basics of averages, mixtures, alligations along with the wine concept. I hope this clarifies the concept and the basics of AMA for you guys. If you like the video, if you found it to be useful, please give it a thumbs up and do subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. And in the next video, we'll be coming up with certain sums on AMA. So once you're done with this video, make sure to see the next video as well. Alright? Thank you so much.